Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 461. I'm Phil Graham. It is March 10th, 2026. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. Today, we're going to talk about my exact retargeting strategy for Facebook and Instagram ads at this point of the year in 2026. So many advertisers either completely ignore retargeting or they overcomplicate it or they're doing it completely wrong. And any of those things could potentially be something that can really negatively or positively affect your ads. So today, I'm going to walk through exactly how I'm retargeting right now in 2026, what I include, what I ignore, and when I don't do any retargeting at all. So welcome to the show today, my friends. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. This is one of the most fun parts of my week, every single week, and it has been for over 9 years. Now, before we jump into the content, if you guys are wanting any help with your ads, whether that's one-on-one consulting and coaching, or you want somebody to run your ads for you, maybe you're trying to figure out how AI integrates with ads. There's some good stuff about it, but there's also a lot of bad. For any of that, you can go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. We can set up a short Zoom call and we can connect from there. So let's dive right in, my friends. I'm going to share my exact retargeting strategy for 2026. Now, this can change throughout the year, of course, but this is what I'm doing right now. And there are exceptions, there are variables, but in general, this is what I would recommend for most advertisers currently. So first, I want to talk about when not to do retargeting. So typically, I'm not retargeting if it's like a brand new advertiser, there's no traffic to their website, they have not been running ads, they don't have an organic following, it's completely brand new, we're early in the testing phase, and there's really nothing going on until you start running the ads. So typically I'll let it go for at least a couple weeks so we can actually build up some kind of action, some kind of traffic, video views, website visits, stuff like that, versus starting it on day one. Now, it wouldn't necessarily hurt to start it on day one, but it really probably wouldn't spend anything because there wouldn't be anybody in that audience yet. So I typically wait at least 2 weeks, and it depends on the size of the budget. If it's a large budget, it could be quicker. If it's really small, it could be longer. But if you're a new advertiser, you've got really hardly any traffic to your website, you're just starting your ads, you might want to wait a couple weeks to start your retargeting, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, retargeting typically only works if there's somebody and something to retarget. So you have to have that first, which is what the cold traffic ads are going to do for you. Next, I will talk about my retargeting structure. And this is typically what I'm doing right now. There's a couple different layers to it. So layer one is what I would consider more high intent, low hanging fruit, high possibility retargeting. And so this is going to be much more segmented than like a big, broad retargeting audience. So layer one, I'm going to do typically a short time window. Let's say maybe 7 days. So in the last 7 days, I'm going to grab people who visited the website, anybody who viewed any content on the website, anybody who engaged with your Facebook or Instagram page, and anybody who viewed a video on your page or any of your video ads, as well as anybody who either abandoned their cart, if you have a shopping cart, or maybe they were an abandoned lead. So you might have an ad that leads to a form that people can fill out, and they got to the page, but they didn't fill it out. That's like an abandoned lead. So all of those things I would retarget in one ad. But as you're doing this, remember, put a small time frame on it, just like the last 7 days. We're not talking about like the last 6 months. We want just the people that are recent that have done that, because it's probably going to be top of mind if they've recently visited your site or engaged with your stuff, or even put something in their shopping cart or almost became a lead. And you really want to try and get back in front of them while it's still fresh in their mind. So that would be one layer of retargeting. That would be a specific retargeting ad. And then I would do a different retargeting ad that's more like throwing the entire kitchen sink at them of practically everybody in your warm audience. So this next layer, again, this would be a different retargeting audience, not intertwined with the first one. This next layer, instead of 7 days, it would go all the way out to 6 months, 180 days. And so we would have website traffic. We would have anybody who's engaged with your Facebook or Instagram page, anybody who likes it or follows it. You could have your email list on there and upload them, any leads that you've had, any past buyers, anybody who has viewed any of your videos, whether it's on your page organically or the ads, and combine all of that. Anybody who's done that within the last 6 months would be included in this broad retargeting audience. Now, this is still a warm audience. It really is, because they had to do something to get here. They had to go to your website or engage with your page or watch a video or something like that. So it's still a warm audience. It's just a much larger time frame, so it's a little bit different. What you're going to say in that type of an ad is going to be different than what you might say in an ad from somebody that just abandoned their cart in the last week. So we've got a highly segmented retargeting ad for the people in the last 7 days that have engaged. And then we've got more of a normal broad retargeting ad for people that have engaged in the last 6 months, but still a warm audience. And then layer number 3 that I like to do, and this depends on the client and the situation, but when it's needed, it can be really powerful. So you can retarget based off of just one specific video ad, for example, that you've done, or a specific page on your website that they have visited. So a great example would be, let's say you're promoting something. You might have different products, you might have different services, or different pain points, different hooks for whatever it is that you do promote. And so let's say you have 10 different products, but you've got a specific product that you really want to push for whatever reason. Well, you can do a retargeting ad focused on just that one product, or just that one service, or just that one pain point, or directed to one type of audience avatar. And so what you can do here is you can, in the retargeting audience section, you can put a specific website page that they have had to have visited in order to be in the retargeting audience. You could also put a specific video. So instead of all of your videos, you could just put 1 or 2, whatever videos you have that are specific to that product or service or pain point, etc. So that way it's a very specific retargeting ad, completely dialed in on a product or service that you have or a pain point, nothing else. And then what you can do is, when you're retargeting them, guess what? Your retargeting ad is going to talk about that very same thing. So that can be super powerful. So generally, those are the 3 main retargeting things that I'm doing right now. Like I said earlier, there are exceptions and there are reasons why I might do different things for certain clients, but in general, those are what I recommend for most advertisers right now. And just real briefly, what are the creative differences in warm traffic compared to cold traffic? Well, typically with cold traffic, you're really trying to grab their attention. They've probably never seen you or heard of you or your company before. So you've got to have an amazing hook. You should have that in your retargeting ads too, but it's even more important in a cold traffic ad. You might have some pattern interrupts. You're also going to maybe have some value, some education, stuff like that in cold traffic ads. In your warm retargeting ads, you should still have some of that stuff, especially a good hook, and it needs to grab attention, but you're also going to have some additional things that could be a little bit different. So think of your warm retargeting ads as really needing to demonstrate trust and credibility along with a defined call to action. And maybe you have a common objection that you hear from your customers or clients. That's a great place to answer that objection in a specific retargeting ad, or frequently asked questions, or testimonials, or user-generated content. Also reminders, hey, don't forget to check out, or don't forget about this special offer that's going to end soon. Things like that. So make sure you're really dialing in on the right types of content for your retargeting as well. There are times that we'll do similar or the same content in retargeting as cold traffic ads for different reasons. But typically what I recommend for you guys is to really dial in on some of these specific retargeting angles. And that's something that I would recommend for most of you. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't make like 37 ad sets that are $5 each for retargeting. Like I wouldn't be doing that. Retargeting should be focused. It should be part of your strategy. It should be part of your plan, and it should not be random. Leverage your warm audience with this retargeting plan and stop doing things randomly or not even doing them the right way. So hopefully you guys will test this out. I hope it was helpful for you. Next week, I've got a really interesting episode that I want to do. I'm going to talk about why you should stop copying your competitors' Facebook ads. It should be a really good one. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. But in the meantime, episode 461 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here as usual. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. And I'll talk to you on next week's episode. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.